Welcome to Titan, Saturn's largest moon, the kind of destination that feels less like a moon and more like a full weather system with a passport stamp. If you have ever wanted a place with a real atmosphere, orange skies, shoreline views, and a landscape that changes under fog and wind, Titan is the most convincing alien vacation in the outer solar system. By the end of this guide, you will know why Titan is so strange, why it is one of the best places to imagine for a future trip, and why the most interesting liquid here is not water at all. I am also going to show you the one Titan feature that turns the whole moon into something like a sci-fi beach day. Stay with me, because that detail changes everything. Most people picture a moon as a dead gray rock. Titan refuses that idea immediately. Its atmosphere is thick enough to scatter the light into a soft amber glow, so the sky looks hazy and almost perpetual, like sunset stretched across an entire world. The sunlight that reaches the surface is weak and filtered, which means Titan does not feel bright in the usual sense. It feels dim, slow, and atmospheric, the way a place feels when the air itself is part of the scenery. That is the first big surprise. Titan is not a bare rock in space. It is a moon with weather. And once you land, the surface changes the whole mood again. Titan's gravity is low, so every step feels a little lighter than you expect, as if the ground is gently letting you move farther than it should. You still need a pressure suit and serious thermal protection, because the cold is brutal and the air is not breathable, but the movement would feel strangely elegant. The terrain beneath you would not look like a lunar desert. It would look like a mix of frozen plains, dark organic soil, and haze-softened distance. The horizon would seem close, but the world would still feel wide. Now here is the part most people do not expect. Titan has lakes, rivers, and rain, but the liquid is not water. It is methane and ethane, moving through a cycle that works like Earth's water cycle but with different chemistry and a far colder temperature range. This is the part that makes Titan feel like a true alien coastline. Imagine standing on the edge of a lake where the shoreline is quiet, the air is orange, and the surface reflects a pale sun through a dense sky. That is not a fantasy painting. That is Titan's idea of a waterfront. And the strangest part is still ahead, because those liquid features are not isolated curiosities. They are part of a living landscape with channels, basins, and shorelines that make the moon feel shaped by time rather than frozen in place. If you like geography, Titan rewards attention. It has the kind of surface where you can read the story of the world from the ground up. You can see where liquids have moved, where wind has worked the dunes, and where chemistry has built up over long stretches of cold, patient time. Stay with me, because this is where Titan stops being simply weird and starts becoming unforgettable. The dune fields are a perfect example. Across parts of Titan, winds push dark hydrocarbon grains into long desert bands that look familiar at first glance and completely alien a second later. They give the moon a second travel identity, not just lakes and shorelines, but cold deserts under a thick gold haze. If the lakes are the beach side of Titan, the dunes are the inland frontier. You could imagine a rover track crossing one of these plains, then climbing onto a ridge where the whole horizon turns into layered amber and charcoal. It is one of those places where the landscape would make every direction feel like a postcard. The sky is part of the show too. When the haze thins and Saturn is visible overhead, the view would be absurd in the best possible way. Saturn would hang there as a giant planet in the sky, with its rings tracing a pale arc that makes Earth's skies feel almost empty by comparison. On Titan, the heavens do not just decorate the trip. They dominate it. Every lookout, every ridge, every lakefront horizon would have that surreal outer solar system feeling that tells you are very far from home. If you want a destination that feels cosmic without needing any special effects, Titan delivers. But Titan is not only visually dramatic. It is scientifically interesting in the kind of way that makes a future visit feel like a mission and not just a vacation. Deep beneath the icy crust, scientists think Titan may hide a subsurface ocean, and that possibility turns the whole moon into a question mark. A place can be beautiful and still feel alive with mystery, and Titan does both. On the surface you get dunes, lakes, rain, and haze. Below it, there may be a hidden ocean shaping the moon in ways you cannot see from the ground. That is the part that gives Titan its depth, the world you can visit and the world you cannot yet reach. If I were planning the ideal Titan itinerary, I would keep it simple and slow. Start with the shoreline before the light shifts. Then move inland to the dunes, where the wind patterns and the dark terrain make the moon feel like a giant natural sculpture. After that, spend time at a high overlook watching Saturn dominate the sky while the haze glows around the edges of the horizon. You would not rush Titan. Rushing is for places that only have one attraction. Titan is the kind of world that changes as you move, and the point is to notice the change. That is what makes Titan such a strong travel guide destination. It is familiar enough to understand immediately and alien enough to keep surprising you. It gives you coastlines, weather, and terrain that feel almost recognizable, then swaps out the chemistry and makes the whole thing impossible in the best way. It is a moon with atmosphere, a moon with rain, a moon with deserts, and a moon with the kind of sky that makes you stop walking and just look up. That combination is rare anywhere in the solar system. So if you are collecting impossible destinations, put Titan near the top. Come for the orange haze. Stay for the lakes, the dunes, and the way Saturn fills the sky. And if you want the shortest version of the pitch, it is this: Titan is the outer solar system's best fake vacation that somehow feels more real than some real beaches. Which would you explore first on Titan, the lakes, or the dunes? If you want another impossible destination, stay with the Exo Guide.